Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at the Koalition.com.
And my name is Lawrence, aka a Punk with Toys, on all the social medias and the creaky chair.
And the creaky chair. There you go. You got to give it a name. Oh, old man creaker.
So I have two of these. Well, we have two of them in the house.
Okay.
And I took my daughter's because mine was just starting to break down.
Mm-hmm.
Because she
Is it a
hardly.
fancy chair? Is it like a high end, like a Sherman?
No. It wasn't. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not anything high end. Okay. I grabbed hers, and mine creaked, and so did hers. So it's just the chair.
No, chairs just creak. I mean, that's what I was saying. I was like,
it's like the exact same. There's like
keep whirling them.
I don't even notice it. As other people will mention something. So I don't even notice it. And now I did my reviews downstairs, so people don't hear it in the reviews anyway. So
that reminds me when I lived in Harlem next to it, the Metro North train, and this thing would rumble, the whole building would shake. And at first I noticed it, and then after a while I didn't notice it, and I could sleep. My bed window was facing the tracks, and when people would come visit, they're like, yo, you don't, the whole place is shaking. It doesn't affect you. And I'm like, I got used to it. I don't notice it.
It's like living by an airport, right? Like
it's like living there. Yeah.
You stop hearing the planes and everything. My aunt used to live. My aunt and her now ex-husband, they lived by Selfridge Air Base. So, you had all these military planes always flying over, whether it be like, the bombers or whatever. And it seemed like it was so loud when we'd go there for family events, but we'll just deal with it. They don't even
deal with it. And you know what? That is a beautiful segue into this episode, which is Slow Horses, Season 5, Episode 5, Circus. And that's exactly where this starts off, at an airport, right? Yeah. We got these Libyans. One of the guys like, hey, I'm pissed. This is not working. It's not happening. I'm out. And the other one's like, no, Gimball's dead. It worked.
Yeah, and the thing about this, they haven't just thrown in all of a sudden that this terrorist, and we'll call him terrorist because that's what I'm assuming they are. Terrorist, he's been like this since the beginning, right? He doesn't like, this was our friend. Why would you do this? And they're losing more and more people, and I think when he looks at it, he doesn't see how there's a way out, right? Like, we're running out of people. This was supposed to be a team, but it sounds like whatever his portion of it is, whatever his part is, they left him out there like, hey, when we get down, like, we only need so many people to accomplish what we want to. And one less, which would be him, is still feasible for them to do.
I mean, we get into more details. At least Tara does. She opens up more about this group and that how they met and come together, and why so many of these people aren't full gung-ho, because that wasn't the intent, right? They wanted to scare. They wanted to show some events, planning, and some little showcase, but they weren't really going to inflict damage and pain and murder and all this stuff. But that's exactly what's going on, because after that, right, we head back to the park. And we got Flight. She's there talking to Tara, trying to get the goods. And I had to get this audio, because the first question, it was like, she's like, Tara's I'm just Roddy's girlfriend. And then Emma says,
Tara, my issue, and the issue a lot of people in this building have, is that when you talk about dating Roddy, it doesn't really wash. Because we've met him.
Man. That's a gut punch, right? It's like, think about it. It's like, you can't, because we met him. He is horrible. That's what you're saying. He is just undateable. This is horrible.
But if he wasn't such a DB, that's douchebag, if you don't know what that means, like, I would feel like, that's pretty rough to say about him. But he is. And we even see it at the end of the episode. I'm like, why is he laughing, right? like again, this is your country, and I do want to say, like again, this is supposed to be Libya, and they have an issue with England or whoever it is
there was some.
because of what they've done. I'm just happy to hear that it's not just every country hates the U.S. There are other countries that these other countries hate.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody. There's always some country that'll hate another country, and that's been since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
That's just
not always just us. Not always just us.
That is true. It's not always just us. I mean, remember we used to be under British rule. Remember it's how it was a freedom fight. It was a rebel cause. And there you go. But I know we got a lot here, though. Real quick, we got a lot of info from here because we find out that she was part of a group. She's a student, right, and also working on the side. And she joined this cultural group just to learn about the history. She's Libyan and just the culture, and that's fine. Everything is cool. But then there's always going to be those that want to take it a step further, and that these guys were taking it a step further, and then they threatened to skin her alive. Those were her words. That's kind of. That's deep to say something like that, but
there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of stuff we'll find out, probably false narrative. But we also get Taverner talking to Whelan, right? And Whelan wants to take control. Taverner knows like this guy has absolutely no backbone. He has no ability, and I'll go back to Battlestar Galactica. He plays the exact same character. All right, other than he's weirder in there. But when it gets brought up about Gimball's death, he laughs and he's like, was it an accident? That's good. And he's like, I didn't mean that. I thought it was such a good interaction because, again, this has freed up so much on him.
Yeah. And what's also good about this is that it's not so much of Gimball's political views, or that it's more of because of the whole blackmail thing that was going on.
Yes.
And that's where it also plays in it, because someone may say, oh, there you go. They have their agenda and they're putting it in the show that the deep state has it. No. They were blackmailing him. And that's what he's really happy about, because then that's done.
And because now if his wife did try to blackmail him, and she has no reason to, but if she ran all that stuff, now it can just say she's a grieving widow, that she's making up stuff, and she's lashing out at anyone anyone that she can. So he's kind of like, he's good. Not to mention he's already ruined everything because we found out she's a racist.
Yeah. The wife. Yeah.
The wife is not having her. the wife.
You know what? Which makes me wonder. I mean, there's one episode left. I wonder if she is going to take control of that political party or his campaign and continue on under that, and maybe disclose that information. Well, you know what? We didn't even really know, Mr. Gimball. My husband kept secrets from me, and maybe she plays that up. We don't know. Yeah.
She's a reporter.
Well, I mean, we see people jump out of fields to get into politics if it serves their purpose. So
they didn't hint at anything about her having political aspects or anything. So I can't see that. I think, I mean, again, I think none of this political stuff has anything to do with it. That was all the decoy. Right?
Oh yeah. Well, that's what we get into a little later when Jackson just puts it all on the line when he shows up at the park. When the terrorists are arguing, and then they notice the Gimbal, because they failed at taking out what was his name? Joffrey.
Yeah, Joffrey.
Yeah.
I think they just needed to get rid of one of them, because that's your distraction.
Yeah.
And
they have their set rules. Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can hear that in the background.
That's Roman snoring, right?
Roman snoring.
For those awake, Roman, who that? It's his dog. He's got a dog in the background.
Right there. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. But another cool thing that we find out with this interaction with Whelan and Diana here is that she handed over the file also on Tara, and she's a student. Everything is legit. She's clean. Yeah, she's from Libya, but she's here and no issues. So that goes into the whole idea that she is just another puppet, right? That we've seen that this group has grabbed these certain people, get them involved, put them in bad spots, and then take them out, as we saw in the first episode with the guy who went out shooting, doing something. He gets taken out. So,
I think this is where we see the problem when you start looking at everything, is that to think that somebody would just be a pawn in their game, that starts at the top of the leadership at the park. Like Lamb would have never seen that. Lamb would have been like, she's not just a puppet, right?
yeah.
I mean, you would expect the CIA or whoever to be like, no. You're not walking away from here. You weren't just some puppet.
Yeah.
There's like
more to it. It is more, but then you know what? Then again, that comes up later on when they do another deep dive interview with Tara, and Emma provides all the information from Jackson, and Wheeler's like, "Well, why are you doing it?" It's like, "Well, the guy has Jackson has like more experience than everyone here." You know what I mean? It's like, come on now, we can play smart all we want, but the facts are the man knows what he's talking about.
But they were specifically, so they went after. Well, and we'll see later. She went after Whelan's
files. Yeah. We'll get into that.
Because they need to find someone who's weak.
Yep. There we go.
And I don't think you're going to get that from Tavener, because say what you want, she's the one that's like, we need to listen to Lamb. He has more field experience than everyone here.
Go.
But no one wants to because he's just a drunk that smokes cigarettes, and people keep telling him he can't smoke there, and like you don't realize he doesn't care.
He follows the beat of his own drum type of thing.
Yes.
You know, he's not sticking with the norm, the clean suit and the proper. No. That's not his style.
And he's not like House. I don't know if you ever watched House.
Oh yeah, I remember House.
You know, I watched a little bit. He annoyed me. You know,
very annoying.
It's not one of those ones where it's like he's an arrogant.
I know it all. Yeah.
But he's not arrogant in that way. Like he just wants to. He's just telling you how it is. He's a grumpy old man. He reminds me of someone who should be in Grumpy Old Men. They do a remake of Grumpy Old Men.
They should put him on him.
Yes.
So, we got River. We got River in the car with JK, right? This is a very funny scene here with all this.
This is filler, but it's funny filler.
Funny filler, and it gives us more insight on JK because he doesn't. I think this is the most we've heard from him, you know, in the entire series when he was introduced in last season. He didn't really talk much, and here it is. He comes back. He went into a store to get some clothes because obviously, if you remember last episode, River has all this paint on him. So he's like, "All right, got you some clothes," and he's eating cherries. And the guy's like, "Well, was there change?" You know, well, yeah, I used it to get my cherries. Like, oh, okay. And he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go in the back and change." And he gets up and he's like, "You could drive." He's like, "I can't drive any cherries. That's not safe." I was like, "Oh, shoot, you just killed somebody." And he's like, "Whatever." So then he goes in the back, River, and he's changing. And then he's like, "All right, look, we can." It's like, "No, well, I still need the bag for the cherries." I was like, he said, "Spit them out." He's like, "That's disgusting." I'm not doing that either. Like, but very funny, and he delivers all these lines with a straight face, which helps the delivery.
And, you know, the spitting on the ground, and again, you remember like the Naked Gun. You remember when they're like spitting all they're on the stakeout.
Oh, the seeds, yeah,
the seeds, and they can't open the door. And I remember one of my first real jobs. All these people go out and for smoke breaks, and I'd go out in the back, and because it was in the back of our shop, so we were in the shop. And I remember I'm a spitter, so I spit on the ground. Wow. And the girl looks at me and she goes, "Man, that's so disgusting." And I go, "You're sitting here smoking a cigarette. Don't tell me what's disgusting." And she goes, "All right, I understand." Well, like mine evaporates. All right.
But then also look on the front. I mean, 9 out of 10 times, these people, once they're done smoking, will throw the butt on the ground and squish it. So it's like,
that's, and believe me, when I spit and I saw all this, I'm like, I don't want to hear about it. Like, mine will be gone in like 2 minutes. Either way,
but here's real quick. There was one other part here that really upset me, though. This did upset me because we keep going back and forth about how the park sees Slaughterhouse, sees the slow horses, and remember, River's upset. He's like, "We're gonna get kicked out. I'm gonna get kicked out of MI5." He's really concerned about his job through the whole process, and JK just cool with it. And the reason why this bothers me is because then in the scene after this, where we have Standish and Shirley, they're accompanied back to Slaughterhouse by the MI5 agents that they had tied up, and they were like, "All right, well, you're back home. This is where you belong," and stuff. you're still part of it. Like River's confirming it. They are part of MI5. So why do these agents treat them like they're like nothing? Like they're lower than dirt.
I don't get that either. They're part of MI5, and if I'm correct, MI5 is somewhat either like the CIA or the
Yeah, it's like that version.
CIA,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't think there's anyone on the CIA that is that low on the totem pole that they're treated like that. You're in the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. That's what the MI5 is for them. So again, like you have stuff. That's why I keep going back to like, why don't they all have guns? Now, if there's anyone that served in the MI5 that can say, well, here's the reason. And don't get me wrong, I don't think clerks and stuff are going to, but these guys are going out in the field. So
that's a good question. I'm not too sure about it. I've seen other UK dramas. Sometimes they have guns, sometimes they don't. And I've looked it up online. There's different hierarchies and levels that are allowed to carry weapons.
I know we looked it up, but this is the CIA. All right.
Well, of their version, yeah.
You have Secret Service. They carry guns. CIA.
You know what? Well, maybe there's more to it. Maybe it's just the slow horses. Maybe it's this unit that are not allowed. Maybe that's one of the abilities they lost.
Then they would be stationed in an office building where they just sit in the office. These are guys that keep going out on the field.
Yeah,
they keep getting sent out there. I mean, that's all that I'm saying. Like,
well, they're good at hand-to-hand combat. That we do know. That's one thing that they are turned right. We saw a lot of that a few seasons with River. Right. We definitely saw a lot of that with Shirley in this one. She would chase anyone down. You go running from her, she will hunt you down. Right. So we saw that. But so Standish, Shirley, they go in there and they see Jackson. Jackson's like, what the hell happened? What's going on? You're screwed up. It's like, what do you mean we screwed up? They fill him in on everything that happened at Jaffrey's rally, how they saved him. There was someone suspicious that's there. He fills them in that Gimball is dead. They're like, but River and JK, I have to go meet up with them now because they're gonna have to explain that. But right now we're in trouble. Right now we're to blame, which again I don't get because remember they were doing this on their own. So it wasn't like Whelan or Diana said, all right, you got to clean this up. You go here. No. This was their own operation. So maybe it didn't work out as planned, but doesn't matter because no one knows you were doing this anyway. That's like if you were going to set up a private party for someone and then people didn't show up, whatever. And then you show up like, hey, it's your birthday. No harm, no foul, because the person didn't know that they were having a private party. So whatever, but he brings it up as if like they are going to be the ones to blame for all of this. So
there's a few things that don't make a lot of sense, and that's one of them. I'll give you, considering no one wanted to listen to him, even though he told them exactly what was going to happen. All they had to do was listen, and then all they had to do was listen to him.
Yeah,
and they would have been stuck in Slow House.
Yeah. It's a mess.
But Devin, she thinks everyone's trying to make a fool of her.
Yep. It's a little crazy.
So then we get
This is fantastic. I love all this.
So hold on, we still have Flight's still talking to Tara about Roddy. And she says she didn't know what they wanted with him.
No.
And it goes back. Deniability, right? That's all she keeps doing. Denying everything.
Yeah. I was just supposed to laugh at his jokes. They just said, act like you like him. And then eventually she just sleeps some little things. Well, I did have to watch him log into the computer. Oh, okay. Then what? I did have to enter in this code. It's like she's trickling out the info instead of just, if you're really concerned, I'm just saying, I've never been put in that situation, knock on wood, it's still early in my life. But if I ever get questioned and like, tell me everything you know about Lawrence, oh my God, here we go. You're going to just spill it all. So then that way they don't have to nitpick and think that you're hiding something. And clearly she is hiding something that she just can't just spew all this out at once.
And when they ask, can you remember the code? She says, they held a knife to my neck It made me remember it. Yes, I can remember it. Now, I think towards the end of the episode, we feel like, yep, there's a reason why she remembered it. But then we switch back to River, River and JK meeting with Lamb.
Oh man, this was.
And I found this interesting because River keeps explaining, hey, you know what, we screwed up, whatever. And then Lamb goes off like, my whole life of knowing you, you've never taken accountability for anything. Why are you doing it now? First off, he noticed JK, why does he have his hood down? And he slowly puts it back up. But he just, he keeps going back. He tells him, like, you've never taken accountability for anything. Why are you doing it now? Which, all this stuff that River's supposed to take accountability for, he hasn't done all that much wrong. He gets blamed for stuff, but half the time it's not his, more than half the time. Now, this time, him lying about it, again, kind of stupid.
I don't know why. Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't understand. Why is he hiding and dancing around this? Just say the truth. It was an accident. Like, hey, JK was coming down. There was all the scaffolding. I'm over here arguing with a guy who showed up. And so, the assassin, the guy, no, he wasn't the assassin. Who was he? I don't know, but he went running. So he can, no, he's not going to say anything about me. As we heard earlier, this whole thing with JK saying the guy's not going to bring it up because then they would put him on the spot. But he just keeps dancing around it. It's like, just come clean, man. Just
that's
say.
What I don't understand, because there's no footage of it, for one thing. Second off, he went there to stop the political manager of Jaffrey, and this is what happens. And again, everything had to fall perfectly into place.
Yeah, literally.
But they'd be able to look and figure out exactly. So no harm. Well, I can't say no harm, no foul. There's a big harm, I guess you could say. Yeah. But it's again, Lamb just loses it.
He loses it. But the best, and I don't know why. I thought he threw it away. JK takes out the recording. He kept it.
Yes.
You would have thought he smashed that, what I mean? Because they're on it, and he plays it, and that's when it's like, all right, the cat's out of the bag.
You think that River would have, but because he grabbed it, he's weird enough not to. Because I think you and I don't want to say we would have done that, but it would have magically disappeared.
I definitely would have done that. It's like, what are we going to do with that recording? And I would have been, what recording? And then let's go get coffee. That's it. I don't know what you're talking about. Come on, let's go. Where were we? We were at the movies.
They easily could have played the whole recording back right there, because he was recording the whole time. They could have recorded the whole recording back, and they would have heard that they didn't have anything to do with this.
Yeah, the altercation that Gimball had with the event manager, Joffrey's event manager, he was recording everything. That's one thing with this guy; he likes to record everything.
So that I don't fully understand either. But Lamb is super pissed, and he tells them next time they walk across the road.
I got it. Here we go.
Are you? And have them shut down Slough House? No, I'm not going to tell the fucking pot. Oh, stay the fuck away from me, the pair of you. Hey, do me a favour. The next time you cross the road, do it with your fucking eyes closed.
I have to remember that one. That's a great one. It's like, next time you cross the road, do it with your eyes closed. That's it. That's what I think of you. Oh man. And that's it. That's it for that's a mess though. That's really he doesn't Rivers. He puts himself in this spot. If he would have just came clean, or I don't think he knew that JK still had that recording on him. Because if anything, he could be like, all right, just play it, or just play the earlier part.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, we helped out. Whatever. Either way, that's done. So then now Jackson is on his way to the park, so that way he can just fill in Diana and Whelan.
Yeah. So Lamb shows up at the park. Oh, everyone's always surprised every time he shows up there, but
I'm surprised they let him in, because as you've seen in the early seasons, remember, he wasn't allowed in. They made a whole big stink about like, oh, what are you going to be here? Why do you? Same thing with Rivers. There was this whole hierarchy
on house arrest.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other one, right? It's
like, I'm assuming Lamb knows how to. I'm assuming Lamb knows how to get in, right? So Lamb is there smoking as Tavener and Whelan come in. And I love that Whelan tells him, "Hey, there's no smoking here." He's like so offended that okay, first off, you haven't figured out. And Lamb pretty much I'm here to tell you everything that's about to happen.
Yeah, he just unravels.
Yeah, and they've done this. Next, they're gonna blind us. And Whelan wants to have nothing to do with it. And as you know, they leave and whatever.
Why does he dismiss Jackson so quickly with this? That doesn't get explained here, as if he's covering something.
It's just his arrogance. Like everyone has this arrogance because they look at Lamb, and this is just, I guess, my assumption. I love to hear what the creator and the writer say about this, what the showrunner says. But he's a guy that seems to have given up on life per se.
Wow.
But he hasn't. Like he's still a good agent. He's never done anything that they've shown in any of the seasons we've watched that show that he would be a traitor, that he would do something just for himself. He's always there to help. And it seems like, I think you would agree, he's been more helpful than not.
Oh, he's pretty much solved all the cases in all these seasons. That's the running joke, right? It's like, oh, Stiles can't get anything done. Well, surprise, surprise, they solve all these problems. They solve all the issues. They find all the bad guys. Come on now.
So yeah, he basically, he tells them, "You're going to blind your enemy next." It is a strategy that they continue to do, and he explained everything that's happened and what's about to happen. So as they leave, and Tavener walks. Well, first Whelan walks in. Tavener walks in and hands Flight a piece of paper. Because once again, you can say whatever you want. Tavener trusts Lamb.
Jackson. Yeah, she definitely
She
knows.
may not like him, but she trusts him because I don't think he's ever done anything in their past that shows any type of betrayal or anything.
No. And the information was also given to Flight over here with Emma. She's there. She just spews the whole thing that Jackson just told them to Tara. Like, hey, we know everything. We know how the plan, what they're doing. And Whelan's upset, telling Diana, no, why'd you do that? You're undermining me. And then Tara just opened, yes, how did you know? You're right. And she brings up, that's when Diana says, hey, Jackson has more experience than everyone in this building. So you can't ignore
and
him.
That goes to like what I'd said before, I think in the last episode. Like, if this would have been Jackson in interrogation or even watching, he would have said she's lying. He would have saw right through it. There was a reason why they wanted Whelan's file. They probably saw that he was, they needed to get to him. How can we get to him? Because the whole point is getting him to trust her, him thinking that he's in charge, right? If Lamb would
how to play him,
we have Devin Wells, who thinks that he's just trying to embarrass her. Like, first off, the guy just tries to embarrass anyone, and he's an embarrassment himself. But he's a smart embarrassment. So, and she goes on her sad story, kind of explains everything.
Yeah, same type of deal, same thing. All this, all that. It's I'm the innocent one. It's just a cultural group and gone wrong.
And then she talks about this saying they kept saying, and about rain falling, and said, well, they're not going to be scared by that. But if bodies were falling, now I'm sorry, I heard that, and the first thing I said is, this is Die Hard 2, right? Wasn't that the
point? Yeah. It was the whole. Yep. I mean, this type of story. I saw this not too long ago in Law and Order Organized Crime. That's been off, where it's just one long story throughout this season. And it was the same type of thing. It was a group that they were trying to get their point across. And next, it was like an activist group, but then it went too far. And next, they're like controlling cars and killing people. And it was out of control. But of course, there's always somebody in the group who wants to up the ante, right? That's how these things work. And everybody else is along for the ride. Yeah.
No one wanted to listen to Bruce Willis and Die Hard
Exactly.
2.
Mm-hmm,
I don't know why I can't think of his name. John McClane.
John McClane. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I think as soon as I said bodies falling, I went. They were at an airport. They made sure you could hear the planes flying over. They want to drop planes out of the sky.
Yeah. Because there was a quick little interaction where they get a call from the agents that went to the airport because they found the van. They said, "Oh, we see a bunch of maps inside. No one's in there. A bunch of maps." And the CCTV went out once it drove in, so they don't see anyone coming out. And there goes that, because they're still trying to find out how many people are behind this. They don't know, but at least they know they're on the right track. Something's going to happen, and it's regarding the planes.
Yeah, and then they can't break into Roddy's computer.
They can't get
they need to get into it, and the IT guy is like, "I can't do it."
I as someone in IT, I get offended when they always show the typical, "Oh, this dude's just eating a donut," whatever. Even a serious situation is taking place here, and he's got a drink in his hand and he's got a donut. Well, what? Oh, what? Yeah, well, if we could get Roddy, I mean, we need his help for this. Come on now, stop this. Everybody else is taking it serious. If you're so upset about Jackson and how his whole system and how he carries himself, what about this jabroni? You're okay with this?
Well, he's just an IT guy.
There you go. He's just an IT guy.
Well, but he's not. Again, he's not in charge.
You know what? Look at we talked about this. Look at the IT guys that were in 24. They didn't act like this.
Okay, and we're gonna bring up 24 in a second.
See, there you go.
We're gonna get to a point. I'm gonna bring up 24 because it's already been on my mind.
I'm telling you, of course. See, that's it, because it's a trigger. This show is definitely a trigger for 24.
Yeah. And then we go back to Soul House, and Grandpa calls River. And again, he's suffering from dementia. He's freaking out. He saw this, and
news. Yeah.
This was a part I didn't like, where, I mean, obviously Grandpa Jackson is all that he has.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson is all that he has left. His daughter doesn't talk to him or whatever. And he ends up, like, at the end, he's talking to him and he tells him that he loves him, and he doesn't say it back. Now,
I thought it was because of Shirley. I thought he just doesn't want to open that up. He wants to make it seem like he's still hardened. I don't think it's because he loves his grandpa, right? Come on now.
Yeah.
There's no.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what would be wrong with saying "love you too, Gramps"? Like, especially considering everything that happened. What?
Last season. Yeah, last season.
All this stuff that happened. Like, what? Like, there's not weakness. Not everyone tells their parents, especially like their dads or their grandfathers, that they love them. But I don't think most people look down on someone who does tell them.
No. But the question now is, why do they add this? You know what I mean? There's got to be more to it. Maybe he is on, because remember, he says, "I know what's going on. I know what's going on." At the same time, it's sort of like the way Whelan dismisses Jackson. He's doing the same thing. River's doing the same thing as that. Doesn't want to hear. If for those who forgot, his granddad David, he was also one of the higher ups at MI5 for a long time.
I thought he was going to start rattling off all the stuff that's going to happen, and then he was going to dismiss them, but he never does. So if that's something that we don't hear on screen, I thought that's what he was going to start rattling off. Like, even if he takes him back to an earlier time when he saw something and he's thinking, you know what I mean? That's what Alzheimer's does. I was expecting that, and we didn't get that.
No.
So yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, what was the purpose of, is Grandpa still alive? If he would have started rattling stuff off and he was like, "All right, Grandpa, I understand," and he dismissed them, and then to come up in the next episode, oh my God, Grandpa said that this was what was going to happen.
All right, I think I figured it out. Remember, he said he was following the news, and then he started going into it, and then of course he started forgetting what he was talking about. It's like, "Oh, just come over and hang out." What if it's going to trigger again? And he's going to know, wait a minute, I've seen this pattern before. Yeah, we've all, no. This process, and I know who's behind it. And it's somebody that he had gone after back in his day of MI5, who's the mastermind of all of this.
So I think we've talked about this before. this is another show, not as much as Mobland, but there's not a lot of filler in this. Almost everything is there for a reason.
Yeah.
So I'd be highly surprised if there isn't a reason for this in the next episode.
Yeah. It has to be. It has to be that he knows something. Grandpa knows something, and it's gonna trigger again in his head, and he's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I know why, because so and so did this back in I don't know 92 or something."
Yeah.
And then they're gonna pull up that file and be like, "Oh wow, wait a minute," and then maybe see a connection. Because I feel that all the stuff that Tara was saying about her family and all that, I think that's also BS.
It has to go back further too. I mean, this
Yeah.
is. I mean, they do mention, I think, Gaddafi, right?
Yeah. They said, "Oh, this is from back with Gaddafi." They took that down, took him down. It was a
Gaddafi's
whole
been
big
on
thing.
quite some time, has it not?
Oh yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Well, we'll get into when Tara goes outside right after this, because that's all leading into this.
So then we see Dander, and she's going through all of Roddy's stuff because they're trying to find clues, and they're finding out Roddy keeps everything, like
I'm
everything from all his dates, a lack of hair, like he's creepy. A T-bone.
Oh man, and this is all from the way that she described it. This is a box from just Tara, right?
Yes.
That's all. That's a lot with the hair, and yeah, well, I can understand ticket stubs and things like that. Yeah, you went to concerts, memories, but no, he's going overboard with a lot of this stuff. But then again, this all plays on to the whole fact that he really never had a girlfriend, so maybe that's why this is like, wow, he doesn't know how to react or
No, he does
just
not.
handle himself. So what do? I should just collect things in a box and act weird.
And then that's creepy, especially like a T-bone steak.
Because I was thinking, I was like, what if let's say they are dating, it's a real relationship, and then one day she comes over, they're hanging out, she finds that box. What the hell triggers in her head? Like, what if you found a box like that? How would you react?
Yeah, it's not a box of like, you don't remember, like, this was the first movie we went to.
No.
Like you kept the T-bone?
The T-bone. Oh man, was he looking at afterwards?
But then we get Lamb going to Molly's house. Molly, if people don't remember, she was the person working in records that's in the wheelchair.
Yep.
And he basically says, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, hey, you know what?
Whelan fired her. That was the whole thing. Yeah. It's like, what? Yeah.
Like over email, but why?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole. Like, why did Whelan fire? Like Whelan, he has to make. Again, this goes with anything. This is a GM, getting hired for a football team or hockey team or whatever, and they have to fire the coach because they need to bring in their own people. That's what Whelan, in my opinion, is doing, right? He has to show that I'm the boss. I know best, and we all know he's an idiot. But Lamb sits down and talks to her and basically says, hey, you know what? How are you going to do it? Well, I was probably just going to take pills. Like, she doesn't have anything else in her life.
Well, I think he was just joking. He was like, you have nothing else. Why don't you just send yourself off this top? Because when he enters her apartment building, she looks like she lives on the top floor or something like that, right? He's like, oh, just throw yourself over. That'll be a record for someone like in a wheelchair or something like that.
But then he brings up a file. When he brings up working in the file, she's like, I basically, I don't remember everything. But he's like, yeah, but I think there's a file you probably left with. Now we don't find out what that file is, but we will in the next episode for sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that's left off at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But an interesting scene here afterwards where we see Tara just spending some time with Whelan. He's like, I just want to talk to her, right? Because he basically saying, oh, we could take care of you, and everything's gonna be fine if you could help us. What do you mean help? We need you. Are you gonna meet up with them? That you said something in a way of like you could still see them. Okay, yeah. Again, once she said that, I was like, this is definitely she's in on this, all of this. Because then she was like, yeah, I'm supposed to meet them, and over at Piccadilly Circus, and yeah, that's supposed to happen. Okay, all right. Oh, she's cold. He puts the coat on. I feel like she planned all this out. And I think that's part of the file, right? They know the type of person he is. And maybe he gets weak at the knees for the pretty girls. Maybe that's one of the other things. Yeah,
he's blackmailed.
exactly. From the girl in the hotel and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, and it's like, yeah, I guess I can go, but they're gonna have 3 checkpoints there, and I don't know if I could do it. No, you could do it. Okay. And so then Emma shows up, and he was like, yeah, don't worry, she's in on it, she's gonna help, and I put a tracker in the coat, so it's gonna be fine.
And Tabitha confronts her about it, or confronts him about it. But
Yeah.
again, it's his operation. He's the one in charge. Now, the difference between this guy and who was running it before, the female that passed up Taverner, I don't remember what her name is. She seemed very competent. She knew what she was doing. She knew everything that was going on. I didn't ever get like a feeling like, oh wow, she just got the job because she's a female or a nepotism or anything, right? I got the feeling like she knew what she was doing. I've never gotten the feeling. Now, a lot of that also may go from watching, I think, 6 or 7 seasons of Battlestar Galactica and seeing how he was.
And I'm sure that's why he got the job, because they needed someone to play that role. And they're like, well, we need someone to play like this guy. It's like, can we hire that guy? It's like, yeah, he's available. Oh, there we go. Do the same exact role in this space. And there you go. You're done. Because he's basically, what's that term that say when you're failing up? That type of deal. It's like, why are you in this spot? You don't deserve it. And then I'm sure later on we'll find out more of how he got there. But I have a feeling this is it for him. I think this season this will be done.
You know what? It'd be hard. They'd have to find. It would have to lead to the next season that somehow he found a way to cover up his flaws. But then we have Flight here with her, and she basically calls him up and says she can't do it. And he's like,
wait. No, wait. We get.
Did I miss something?
With Roddy. Right, because they go to do the hacking, because that was one part when they were like, all right, we need to get Roddy involved to help with the computer. So then Roddy gets over with his laptop, and then Diana's there, and the other guy's there, and it's like, okay, he's gonna enter the code and do everything like normal, because they say they need to see it in action, so that way they can trap it and see exactly what it's doing.
And if you get in Roddy's computer, one little thing. It'll completely erase the hard drive, but it will automatically be loaded up onto the black.
On the dark web, all that stuff. Yeah, but so this reminded me of Dexter. This was back in Dexter. Remember with the dude with the vault when oh man, I'm blanking on his name, but oh man, Peter Dinklage's character. But remember, it was like if you enter in the code once wrong, then it locks it down. It sets off the alarm. It. There is no second chance. And that was the same deal, because he even cracked a joke. He's like, your IT guy couldn't even get into my laptop, couldn't even open it. And that's why, because if you do this, and like you just said, so he's like, all right, well, we're going to deploy it anyway. Now, this, if someone works tonight, this is a bad idea. Very bad idea. If anything, do this in a controlled space, test environment, a LAN, not on your entire network, but they still do it anyway. Bad idea.
I thought the same thing. And I'm not an IT guy, but I know enough to be dangerous.
Exactly. It just seems wrong.
Yeah, why would you be connected unless it's an oversight? But as an IT guy, you would think, all right, let's make sure that whatever she was doing. But again, I guess, they're under the assumption that she was under distress. She only did this. This isn't gonna hack anything. But again, going dark.
See, now we're over at Piccadilly Circus.
Okay. And this is where Flight basically says she can't do it. And then Whelan says, let me talk to her. He convinces her to do it. So as I'm watching this, I go, you know what I wish? I would love for these companies, these writers or producers to be like, all right, we are going to, this is our plot, and here's the bad guys, good guys, whatever. And we're going to do 4 different versions of this. And one is Slow House. The other one is 24, and how Jack Bauer would have. When she's like, I can't do it, Jack Bauer would be yelling in her face. I'm like, I need like 4 different shows of the same bad guys. They got to get from point A to point B, and like how each of them would handle it. You know what I mean? Like it would be awesome. Like Jack Bauer, and then it just gets me back to like, oh, they're supposed to be bringing 24 back. You said,
yeah.
I'm so interested because Jack Bauer never goes to the bathroom. He yells and screams at people.
Yep. But here's the thing, though, with all of this is that she doesn't want to go, but the whole point is she was like, I want assurances. Like, what? They're gonna kill me, and then he spews everything. There's a tracker in your jacket, in the coat. I put that so we can find you. There's a checkpoints. It's the people that are gonna watch you in every aspect of this transaction here. When you go down there to meet with these guys, you're safe. Everything is going to be fine. And she looks over and she's like, okay. She hands the phone over and says, yeah, she's going to do it. But then she tells Emma, she was like, hey, tell my family that I'm sorry and that I love them. That was a dead giveaway right there. Dead giveaway. I was like, oh, okay. She's definitely in on this.
Well, it was either that or that would have been like the ending scene where like they end up,
taking her out.
Yes, and then you see like Flight showing up to tell the family, but that's not what we're gonna get. Well, I think someone's have to show up to the family and tell them, or they're gonna see it on the news.
Yeah.
So yeah, she starts walking, and they're tracking her, and then you can kind of see the smirk on her face. At this point, you know exactly what she's going to do.
Mm-hmm. They lose connection because once she goes down the stairs, they're like, all right, there's a blind spot there. So CCTV can't follow her at this point. So it's going to be dark. So it's okay. We got the tracker. So it'll be fine. And yeah, everything is changing. You saw the smirk. She changes her hairstyle. She takes the coat. She dumps it. She's just changing things up. They do a quick jump back at the park. You see that the virus is now active. Well, I'm assuming it's like a virus, like a worm going through their system, because then all of a sudden they're like, oh, wait, it's spreading. It's on. Well, the screens go black. Everything starts going black.
Well, first they realize that she stopped moving. So then, he's like, why isn't she moving? What? And then he finally realizes she's played me. Send Flight down there. This was another.
No, I don't think he realized that. Because he thought maybe they grabbed her. Remember, he was like, oh no. They got her or something. It was Emma that said it's like, no, she dumped the coat. And he was still confused. Like, why would she do it? Why would she dump the coat? He's still in disbelief.
So Flight runs down there, sees where the tracker stopped, and the girl singing is wearing the jacket. Now, this girl was singing the song when she dumped the jacket. How did she put on that jacket and she's still singing that stupid song?
She didn't even stop. Yeah, that made no sense. Because then, she would at least have her sing a different song, right? You switch her song.
But that song was meant to... Again, I forget what song it was, but
it's a famous song and it's mixed. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you listen to it, it has to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to, I forget what it was. But it has to do with her going off. And then we see everything start going dark. And she walks out, gets in a weird minivan with doors that open up and don't slide. I've never seen a minivan like that.
Maybe it's like a modified SUV. I don't know.
Yeah. And while the program starts shutting everything down, Roddy is laughing about it. Which
he's in on it.
Which once again, like, why you'd be like, hey, hold on, like,
yeah,
because he's not doing it. It's not like it's his program and you'd be like, oh, I did that, right? But here's what I think is going to happen. They're back at Slow House. They're not connected in.
Yeah. Do they even? Wait a minute. I don't even know if I've seen any computers. We always see them on their phone.
Yeah, Roddy's.
Well, on his thing, but I mean, for everybody else, he's not there right now. So you're thinking that?
But he had a whole system. I thought.
No, him, but he's not there. He's at the park. I'm just saying if there's others.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
they'll probably go back to Slaw House and.
Again, there's a few things that I'm going, and I hate Roddy. I hate him even more now.
But one of the things that we do know is that with that virus, it was going into one file in particular, and that was going into Wheeling, to Claude's.
Yeah.
So it definitely is like, why him? And then next, it triggers and the power goes out, everything goes out, and they're in the dark. She takes off, mission accomplished. Now what?
And we don't know what file Molly took.
Mm-hmm. Blind your enemy. Now we know. Well, MI5 is the enemy, and now they're blind. Man, this whole operation is working step by step, even directly, indirectly, with the whole gimbal and the paint pot, as they call it, paint pot. Oh man,
Yeah.
So it was good. This was a very good episode, entertaining.
No action in it, other than the one bullet being fired. But it was a very good suspenseful lead up into the season finale.
Yeah.
And I have no problem at all with it. I think this is what I like. I mean, we've seen filler episodes in other shows. Like I said, I do think that the majority of this show, just like Mobland, they everything is there for a reason. I don't think that at the end of the season finale, we're going to be like, why did Grandpa call River? I think there's going to be a reason, like you said.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go back to something. I remember this. And maybe a phone call where he just starts rambling on the River. And
you know
River hears it.
And I can see River not even paying attention to that. And then next time he talks to Jackson, says, my granddad has an idea. He brought up some name or something. And then that'll trigger with Jackson because he's also from that time.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? Okay, there we go. Now we know who we're looking for.
And see, like Jackson and Taverner is the same. I think is the same way. They hear something like, we have to investigate everything.
Yeah.
And especially when you have an agent who has been doing this for as long as he has, like, we have to investigate it. He's not throwing this out for a reason. Once again, like, we're all on the same team, right?
Yeah.
If the FBI comes in and tells the CIA something, the CIA is not going to go, whatever. You're the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're the Central Intelligence Agency. We don't want to hear it. No. You're going to listen to it. Yeah. There's rivalries with stuff, but you're on the same team, right? So the
only thing I could think of is that this is within MI5. The way the agents see it is that if you're in Slaughterhouse, then you're an F up. And it's okay to look down on them and talk down to them. This is almost like a hazing type of thing because, yes, they're still there, but go ahead, do whatever until they come up. And there's no date. That was the thing. They talked about that in the first season where people said how much time. Remember, they're like, I have to do this for you. They stopped that. I have not heard any more of I'm going to be here for a year. I'm here and then or 6 months, whatever. So it's more of like.
But if we go back, we've seen them solve 4 different things.
Oh, yeah.
At what point it's like these guys aren't a bunch of screw ups.
No.
They have actual value. But yeah. So I'm interested.
And they don't get promoted out. That's what River keeps hoping for. He's in fact the only one that really keeps pushing for that. Like even now, flipping out in the car. Oh, they're gonna kick me out of MI5.
The girl that ended up in a coma, she thought that. And same with the missing digit girl.
Yeah, but that was she's Louisa, who left. So she says she left. You know what? I need to take a look. It's on IMDb. We can't rely too much, but is she in the next season? They're not showing her for next season. If we see for season 6,
let me see here. I got it up really quickly. Maybe I do.
There we go. But
I'm just gonna look and see if she's in the next episode. Maybe.
I don't know if she would come back for just one episode, but I can't see her leaving the show. If she did, that was a very uneventful send off. Just at the waterfront and just having that awkward kiss.
It says she's in the next episode, but wait a minute. I take that back.
All right.
This is season 1, episode 6.
Oh, epic fail. Go to 6. Yep. There we go.
All episodes. Let's see here. I hit 6 though. I don't care what anyone says.
There we go. It's all right. But even if you did,
Hello Goodbye is the next episode.
Okay.
But that's season 4. My God, all I'm trying to get to season 5. I keep hitting it.
It's all right. We'll be surprised if she shows up. But all we know is that there is one more episode of the season, and traditional fashion with Slow Horses, they usually close the case. Each
Yeah.
one is based off of a novel, so we should see a case closed at the end of this one. And I'm sure we won't be disappointed. Like we said, there's not a lot of filler. Shouldn't be. There's only 6 episodes. It's not like back in the day with the long 16 of you got to fill it. No, it's like we're getting everything out of these characters for every episode. And we will see. But hey, everybody, thanks again for sticking with us with our coverage for Slow Horses, along with Tulsa King and all the other shows that we keep referring to. Mobland, that was our first one. We loved it. That was a great crime drama. And that's also coming back for season 2. So we're happy about that. I also think I'm pretty sure I did, but if not, I'll bring it up here. Dexter Resurrection, no surprise, coming back with a season 2 as well. That one's been greenlit. So there's a lot going on. And as we just been talking about, there is a season 6 of Slow Horses because they filmed 2 at a time, if you didn't know.
And a season 7.
Yeah, there you go. And that's it. I mean, they're going to keep doing this. It's a huge hit for Apple. Gary Oldman loves playing this character as well as some of the others. And Gary in particular said, hey, I'll just keep doing it. He said, as long as they keep making it, I'll keep doing this role. I love this role. And it's a fantastic role to play. So anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. Thank you all. Like, subscribe, and we will be back next week for the season finale. All right, everybody. Yep, take care. Peace.